What would be another, so if that's part of that relationship sustaining and building exercise, what would be another tip that you would say, look, you don't have to ask for referrals, but you have to do this?
Yeah. So here's the thing. So I teach a strategy that blends together specific outreach that you're going to be doing so many times a year. We typically fall in the range of 4 to 8 times a year. Most folks in their first year are going to fall in that 5, 6, 7, or 8 range. Once you've been doing this year after year, you can kind of, I'll be honest, get away with a little bit less. But it's this way that we kind of do this outreach to our referral sources. And it's not just the what we're doing, it's the language that we're using. That's where the magic kind of comes into place. It's not really magic, but that's what we like to call it. It's where these pieces actually fit together. It's like if the outreach you're doing to your referral sources is the meat and potatoes, then the language that you use is the secret sauce that actually makes that meal taste right. And that's how we kind of plant we call them referral seeds, the language piece. And that's how we kind of plant that subconscious desire for referrals moving forward without ever having to act like we're asking or like we're hinting or any of that stuff that everybody can read through, because everybody's, you know what, meter is really on high alert these days. And that's not what we want to do for these folks, right? We want to take care of them. We want to be genuine. This has got to come from the heart. And so it is the outreach that we do. But what people get so stuck in is like, what is my outreach? Well, the truth is the outreach I would tell someone to do and the language piece that would go along with that. Like if you had a whole bunch of people on your list that were men and women in their 50s that happened to refer you, what we would talk about doing is going to look a little bit different than if you had a bunch of referral sources that were in their 20s. Right. So we do look for commonalities amongst our referral sources. There's not like one type that probably refers you. There's probably a mix, but you can look for commonalities. And I think people overlook that as they're trying to create these touch points or these outreaches that you're going to do. Because you're not doing individual ones. It's not like 8 different touch points for you, and then 8 different touch points for you, Steve, and then 8 different touch points for Sally over here.
You're
we're not
putting them in. You're putting them in banks of groups.
Yeah. Well, and usually actually a lot of times if we just spend a little bit of time thinking about our referral sources and what they ultimately need, we actually can do one touch point and deliver it to all. And yet, even though it's like, feels like it's in mass, it's completely personalized because of what we're doing and the language that we're using. And that is really what I always tell folks, like that is at the heart of what I teach my clients, is what that framework looks like to get to the right touch points, to get to the right language as well. But at the end of the day, again, like it always goes back to, it's you wanting to take care of the people who take care of your business differently than you've ever done it before. And it's really, really important. But you mentioned something earlier about like, what about the attorney who always sends me business, right? Like I always get business and I always get referrals from this one person. Do I really need to do this for someone who's already consistently referring me? And I always tell folks that kind of answer is always going to be situational. But at the end of the day, taking care of the people who take care of your business in a better way certainly can't hurt.
And I don't want you to give away too much of the secret sauce, because you should be getting some calls, for people that are looking at, I like, the cut of your jib or whatever the saying is, but
never heard that before.
You haven't. Okay.
No.
But can you give an example of that outreach? You said 4 to 8 outreaches, and someone's listening to this going, that sounds great. What would be an example of that? Obviously we know thank you cards. Okay. There, but now on the outreach for that bank of, let's say, top referral partners, what would be an example of that?
Yeah. So actually the thank you cards are going to fall outside of those 4 to 8 touch points in a year, because every time they refer you, you're going to send a thank you card.
That's the first thing, like right off the bat.